Hey guys, what's up? My name is Becca and welcome to my October wrap-up. It's the end of October and I can't believe it. It's so close to the end of the year. We're already in November. Oh my god. Okay, I think I say that every month. But it's true, like, time is going by so quick. Sorry if you can hear that I'm sick. I mean, I'm gonna try. I'm feeling a little bit better than I was earlier and last night, but I'm still kind of sick. I can never feel better. And when I do feel better, it's not a filming day. I can't film on those days. Great. I always have to feel sort of sick when I'm filming. I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. Alright, so yeah, how many books did I read this month? I read 11 books. 3 of them are rereads. And I'm currently reading 2 books. Not bad. I thought it was going to be a worse month. I started getting really slumpy at, like, I don't know, like, it was like towards the middle of the month. I started getting pretty slumpy. I forgot. I don't talk about books right away. I'm telling you guys, I'm not in a right, in the right frame of mind or state of mind. I can't talk. Okay, I'm supposed to be talking about, like, the TV shows I watched, the movies, anime, the video games, but we don't talk about video games because I haven't played anything. Though I have started playing Mario Party Star Rush. I got that from the library. Me and my brother have been playing that a lot. That's really the only thing I've been playing. Let's see. TV shows, I've just been catching up with a lot of the shows, you know, like all the fall shows that have come back. I've just been watching those. I can tell you, like, my favorite shows right now, and that's New Amsterdam. American Horror Story is really great this year. I don't watch all the seasons of American Horror Story. I just pick and choose which ones I'm interested in and I like. Like, I only watched half of Roanoke because I really started to hate the other half, so I quit it. I didn't watch Cult or Freak Show, though I really do want to go back and watch Freak Show because I love Jessica Lange. But dude, guys, this year, it's Murder House meets Coven, or it's Murder House and Coven, a little bit of Hotel, and then the new season Apocalypse. Like, they're all, like, interconnected, and it's so freaking good. Jessica Lange has come back for one episode this year. I freaked out when I saw her. I did not think that she would actually be in an episode, but she was, and I freaked out and I loved it. And I just want to go back and watch that episode again because I love Jessica Lange. I love a lot of them, but Jessica Lange was my favorite, and it really sucked when she stopped doing it. So yeah. I'm really liking a lot of the other shows, but those are the 2 that I'm just, like, really, really enjoying, and the only 2 that I'm really caught up with. All the other ones I'm, like, really behind. It happens, you know, like, I either prioritize shows or prioritize reading. I can't, do both. So, here we are. Movies. God, I don't even remember. I watched Hocus Pocus last night. I rewatched, me and my friend rewatched Hocus Pocus, The Nutcracker Prince. I watched Slender Man for the first time yesterday. It was okay. It was whatever. Those aren't my kind of movies. To be honest, I think I was falling asleep through most of it. But I was still awake for most of it. Like, I was in and out, kind of, but I could still, like, understand what was going on. I was so fine. It was fine. Again, it's not my kind of movie. I like scary movies, I like horror movies, but I don't like many. And I can't tell you which ones I like what kind I like, because I don't even know what kind I like. I just, when I see a movie and it's good and I really, really enjoy it, I know it. But, I mean, Slender Man wasn't awful, but some stupid people in that. But yeah, God, I can't remember what the rest of the month was, and that's just yesterday. Let's see, any other movies? Me and my brother watched all the Conjurings, but I think that was last month. We didn't see... Did I see any movies in theaters? I don't think so. I really don't think so. I know I plan to. Oh, I saw Ant-Man and the Wasp. That was good. That was actually really good. I was going to go see it in theaters, never did. Came out in Redbox, so I rented it and I watched it. Mamma Mia 2. Hello. Here we go again. I actually really enjoyed it. I think I actually prefer the first one, which is funny because I thought I would prefer the second one. Though my favorite song now is Fernando with Cher. Anybody surprised? I freaking love Cher. I love Cher. But yeah, I listen to Fernando like nonstop. But yeah, I really love those movies. Yeah. I think that's it. Anime. I did watch one anime. That was Seven Deadly Sins, the newest season. Revival of the Ten Commandments, I think it's called. And I loved it. And I binge watched it in like 3 days. Which is why I didn't get a lot of reading done like around that time. And I didn't do anything else around that time. I just watched that anime. And it was fantastic. And I loved it. It's also a reason why I'm behind a lot. Because I've just been watching that. And I loved it. Though I will say I'm really upset by the ending because I need the next season now and I don't have it. So, yeah. Alright. Books time. Alright, first up we have Invisible Ghosts by Robin Schneider. Also, all these books I talk about in weekly reading updates. There are a couple that I haven't talked about yet because I either just finished them this week, so that'll be on Sunday. But they're all in those videos. They will be, you know, some of these will be. So I'm not going to really talk about synopsis, guys, because I talk about it all there. And I talk about, you know, quite a bit with each book, I'm pretty sure. I mean, so yeah. Invisible Ghost by Robin Schneider. I love this book. I give this 5 stars. It's a ghost story. Her brother is a ghost. He died a couple years ago, something like that. And she just hasn't really been living her life. She's been, like, really distant from everybody. She just hasn't really been living, and an old friend comes back and she starts living again. Brother does not like that. I really, really enjoyed this. I cried, like, within the first, like, 12 pages. This was so good, and I couldn't believe how much I love this book. I did not think I would love it as much as I did. I thought maybe I would go into it thinking it was meh, or I really enjoy it, but no, I freaking loved it. I did not think this would be a 5-star book, but it was, and I'm really, really happy that I read it. It's a really fun, quick, easy read. I mean, it's not fun, but it's like a really quick, easy read, and it will make you cry, and I mean, it's really all about grief and how you deal with it. This was amazing. Then we have a couple mass markets. I have the Governess Game by Tessa Dare. This is the second in the Girl Meets Duke series. I don't know how many books are going to be in this. This is only the second one. It's the newest one out, so I really enjoyed this. I read the Duchess Steel like a month or so ago and really enjoyed that. I think I still prefer the Duchess Steel to this one, but I really did enjoy this. You follow Alexandra, who is a friend in the first one that you meet. In the first book, she meets this man in a bookshop. He's known to all of her friends as the bookshop rake, and she ends up meeting him again in this. He assumes that she's come to his estate to be a governess, and she's only there to, like, do something with his clocks. I don't know. But, yeah. She doesn't want to be a governess. She has no idea how to be a governess, and he's like, you got the job. I need a governess bad for my 2 wards who keeps, you know, like, kicking, like, they keep terrorizing all the other governesses, and they run away, you know. It's kind of predictable in that way, but I still really enjoyed this, and I give this, like, 4 stars. I really like the romance, and, yeah. I do prefer the Duchess Steel, but I am glad I picked that up. Another mass market I picked up was Born to be Wild by Eloisa James. This is the 3rd book in the Wilds of Lindo Castle series. Again, don't know how many books are going to be in this. I read the second one a month or so ago. I think around the same time I read the Duchess Steel. Never actually read the first one, fun fact. I've only read the second and third. I do have the first one up from the library, so I do need to pick that up. But yeah, I had the third book, and I figured why not continue. This one follows Parth and Lavina. I keep on calling her Lavina, but I just realized there's an IA. So it's Lavinia? I don't know. Okay. But it follows those two characters that you meet in the second one. You probably meet them in the first book too, but I wouldn't know. I know Parth is like the brother of the first two male leads, and she is the cousin of the female lead in the second one. And I think she's the best friend of the female in the first one. I think. I don't know. But yeah, you find out that Lavinia has gone broke, and she goes to Parth, who is like her enemy, not really her enemy, but they don't get along at all. They have an animosity between them, and she goes to him and she asks him to marry her because she needs the money, and she wants to be with someone that she knows and she trusts. I mean, they don't get along well, but she knows that he would never really hurt her, and he rejects her, and things go from there. It's an enemies to lovers, or like hate to love romance, and I freaking love it. And so I really enjoyed this. I think this is my favorite of the series so far. Again, I haven't read the first one, but I'm really glad I read this, and I gave this like 4 stars. Yeah, I give this like 3.75, 4 stars, around there. I'm really glad I read that. Next up, an audiobook I listened to was Sadie by Courtney Summers. Oh my god, this book. So, if you're gonna pick this up, I would definitely recommend just picking up the audiobook. I have not actually read it. I literally just got this book from the library so I could hold something up for you guys. So I was kind of like upset that I didn't have this in my hands while I was listening to the audiobook, but I don't know how it would have been if you had just read it without even listening to it. I've heard kind of mixed things about that. Like, the audiobook is fantastic. You should only listen to the audiobook, and you shouldn't actually, like, just pick this up without listening to it. So that's what I've heard. I wouldn't know because I didn't have the book with me. But I'm, like, really happy that I had the audiobook because the audiobook was fantastic. This isn't a book for everybody. It has a lot of trigger warnings for, like, rape and murder and I can't think of, like, death, and I can't think of anything else. Grief, and there's a lot of dark subjects that take place in this book. So, I mean, just know that going into it. Also, the ending isn't for everybody. The ending isn't for me. It's not my favorite ending. I loved this book all the way into the ending, and then once I listened to the ending, I was like kind of in a rage. I've calmed down since then. It's fine. I know I'll never get the ending that I want. And it's fine. I still really love this book. And I still recommend it to everybody if it's something that you can handle. So I can't think of the whole list of trigger warnings. Definitely check those out before going into this book, though. People have a better, understanding. They talk about it more, and I think Julie from Pages and Pens read this, and she had a whole trigger warning. I think she has a review up on Goodreads, so you should just check that out, and I think she always puts her trigger warnings up on that, always. So I don't know for sure, but I'm pretty sure. And yeah, I mean, it's just about a girl whose mother abandoned her and her sister, and now she has to raise her sister. But before she could, she had to raise her sister, and then her sister gets murdered, and now she's just on the hunt for this guy. Because she knows who did it. Yeah. So she goes on this journey, and it was fantastic to listen to. And, I mean, you get the perspective of Sadie, as well as this podcast that's, like, takes place 5 months later. Like, Sadie's is 5 months earlier, and the podcast is 5 months later. So, it's, like, like, Sadie's in one period of time, and podcast is 5 months after that. So yeah, just pick this book up if it's something you're interested in. I highly recommend it. I just really, really love this book, and 4.5 stars is what I gave this. Because that ending would have made it, you know, if the ending was my taste, it would have been a 5, but just couldn't do it. Alright, next up we have The Wicked Deep by Sharon Shaw. Like, this is where, like, my Spookathon kind of week went. I failed at Spookathon. It was fine. It was fine. I read some of the books that I really wanted to read, so yeah. This was one of them. I really wanted to read this. I love this cover. I've heard nothing but good things about it. I've been really wanting to read it. So I picked it up for Spookathon. Don't remember what challenge, but I picked it up. And I was sorely disappointed. So disappointed by this book. I wanted to love it. I really did. But I could not stand anything. Like, I think the only thing I actually liked about it were the bits where they, like, had flashbacks, or, you know, like, it would talk about the Swan sisters, who are the sisters that come back every summer and, you know, inhabit girls and draw men to their deaths, kind of thing. But every time it would go back and tell you more about the Swan sisters, or it would be like, you know, this is what happened on this day, kind of thing. I really liked those, and those are the only chapters I cared about. Everything else I was just like, nope, could care less. It was so predictable. I saw all of it coming. I was hoping that it would go in a different direction than the way it did, but it didn't, and I mean, I just didn't care for this book. I really wanted to. The one thing I can say is that it's so very atmospheric. So, I mean, it is a good book to pick up around this time, because you definitely get a feel for the atmosphere and everything, but I just didn't care for the story or the characters or the romance or anything else. I was so angry about that, because I love this cover. Like, oh my god, and I just want to keep it just because of that, but I know that would be a waste, and I'm not going to do that. So it was 2 stars. I was really upset about that, but yeah, 2 stars. It's also like one of Julie's favorite books of all time, and I did not like it. Some books that we agree on, some books we don't. It's fine. She doesn't like some of my favorite books, so it's okay. Another book that I was kind of disappointed about was Toil and Trouble, The 15 Tales of Women in Witchcraft, edited by Jessica Spotswood and Tess Sharp. This was the group read for Spookathon. Again, it's like 15, this is an anthology, it has 15 tales of witchcraft and women, and I didn't care for this at all. 2 stars, again. There's like 2 stories that I actually cared about, but I will never touch this book again. Anthologies are just not for me. I've said this, I think, before, and you'll probably tell, like, anytime I pick up an anthology and I think I might like it, and I go for it, I never give it higher than 3 stars. Ever. So, this one, just, yeah, like, any anthology, I don't think I'm going to pick up anymore. They're just never for me, and I gotta stop, you know, disappointing myself like that. So, yeah, this is a bust too. 2 stars. Let's see. Lay's Guide to Petticoats and Piracy, which is the sequel to Gentleman's Guide to Vice and Virtue by Mackenzie Lee, which I really, really loved. The first book, I think, is still my favorite, though I love the Percy and Monty bits in this so much. So much. And, like, the 3 of them, Felicity, Percy, and Monty, just that trio is perfect. Oh my god. This is just about Felicity, who is trying to become a doctor in a world where, or in a time where females don't become doctors. And she goes on this journey to find, like, her idol that will probably help her into becoming a doctor, something like that. And yeah, things don't go the way they're supposed to. Things aren't as they seem. It's so good. Like, this was really good. I really loved it. I listened to, like, the first half on audio, and then I just binge read the second half because I couldn't stop. It's the same as, like, the first one, where it's like starts off as like sort of contemporary and then goes sort of into like this fantastical type places and like towards the end. They're just so good. And I love Percy and Monty. Though they're not in it as much as I would have loved. They're not supposed to. It's supposed to follow Felicity and you know, her friends. So it's fine, and the little bits that I got were just fantastic. So yeah, 4 stars. I love this book. It was great. I really want to reread the first one now. Let's see, the last book I read that wasn't a reread, or finished that wasn't a reread, is 3 Dark Crowns by Kendar Blake. I lied, there's one more after this. But yeah, 3 Dark Crowns by Kendar Blake. Oh my god, this book. This book, you know, follows 3 queens. You guys already know what this is about. Everybody has read it pretty much. I'm like the last person to read it. But it follows 3 queens who must fight to the death to become the last one standing. So that one can rule over Fenburn, their land, their country, whatever it's called. So you follow all 3 queens. You know, they each get a separate chapter because they're all separated to whatever part of the world that helps them with their gift. I can't think. We have Katarine, who is the Poisoner Queen, Mirabella, who is the Elemental Queen, and Arsinoe, who is the Naturalist Queen. So yeah, each one are in different parts of the country or land, whatever, that you know, they deal with their gifts, you know, kind of thing. Okay. I thought before reading this, you know, before picking this up, Mirabella would be the one that I would root for because I love elemental magic, and Mirabella just seemed like a kick-ass character. I did not like Mirabella whatsoever. I think towards the end I cared for her a little bit, but other than that, I just did not care for her at all. And I was kind of really pissed at her, like, in the middle. I was just so pissed off. Katarine is the one you start off with, and that first chapter was kind of like a, you know, a WTF kind of moment, and it was good. Like, I cared for her and, like, the people around her, kind of. She was, like, the first one that I was like, okay, I'm starting to care. And Arsinoe, I actually cared about her and the people around her as well. I think this, Katarine is the only one I actually cared about the relationship that she was in. The other 2, Mirabella, I wanted to kill her for touching that man. I wanted to kill her for that. I was so pissed. And Arsinoe, I still don't know whether or not, you know, her and this one guy are gonna end up together. But it's fine. The romance, I felt like, you know, yes, it played a part, but it wasn't like the main focus. This is the focus of these queens gathering their power and going up against their sisters and which one is left standing. Mirabella's really the only one with power. The other 2 are pretty weak compared. Though, you do find something out in the ending, which is like a really made me want to pick up the second book. So I might actually do that soon. But, I mean, this is like a 3-star book for me. I wanted to like it a little bit more. And I was, like, invested in, like, figuring out what was going on. I'll give it that. But it just didn't really live up to any of the hype. Though I have heard a lot of mixed things. I've heard a lot of people didn't really like this book as much as, like, the second book. The second book apparently is amazing. So I'm definitely going to pick that up. But yeah, this is 3 stars. We'll see how the rest of the series goes. But yeah, I am kind of happy that I picked this up. I've been really meaning to pick this up for a while. Okay, the last book that I read before we get to the rereads was City of Ghosts. I listened to that on audiobook. I don't have a physical copy, which is why I forgot about it. I wish I could have gotten a physical copy, but my library doesn't carry physical copies of City of Ghosts. Only the audiobook and the ebook, which I don't know why. I listened to this on audio, and I really loved it on audio. Though, listening to it on audio made me really want to read it, and I found myself being distracted a lot, so I wish I had a physical copy with me while I was listening to it. That is my one thing that I was just like, I really need a physical copy so I can listen to it and read at the same time, because then I'd be a lot more invested, though I really, really still enjoyed it. This follows our main character, which her name is escaping me at the moment. It happens. Cassidy? Something like that. She died for like a minute, and then she comes back, and she can see ghosts. She's an in-betweener. So, she can go in between the veil and the real world, like, our world and the other world, which is, like, between the veil, where you can see all the ghosts and everything. It's about her, like, nobody really knows that she can see ghosts. Like, they think she has an imaginary friend every time she talks to Jacob, which is her ghost best friend. And then she finds out her parents and her are moving to Edinburgh because her parents are going to be part of this show that will deal with, like, her parents deal with ghosts and stuff too. They just don't believe her. Like, they won't believe her if she says ghosts are real. I don't know. Maybe the mother will, but the father won't. I don't think. Yeah, they're part of the show, so she has to move to Edinburgh where all the ghosts are, and it's the last place she wants to be. And she finds someone else like her, and it gets really spooky. She finds out, like, you know, stuff she's actually supposed to do, though she doesn't do it. But, yeah, it gets, I know, I'm really sucking at, like, talking about this book. I still really enjoyed it. But yeah, it gets, like, really spooky, like, ghost-wise. I really enjoyed it. I want to get a physical copy so I can actually read it. I give it 4 out of 5 stars. And if I didn't say City of Ghosts is by Victoria Schwab, I'm not sure if I actually mentioned who the author is. But yes. It was a really good middle grade book. I highly recommend reading it. It is the first in the series because I could definitely tell there would be a second one. And I'm excited for the second one. I really want to know where it goes. Okay, rereads. I won't talk about these much, like, really at all. I finished rereading Stranger Dreamer, annotated the crap out of it, gave it 5 stars, obviously. And I reread Empire Storms: The Tower of Dawn, which I gave both of them 5 stars, obviously. I did not annotate anything because I am planning next year, at the beginning of the year, to read from the very beginning, the first time in a very, very long time, that I will reread Throne of Glass and Crown of Midnight. It's been a very long time since I've read those. I think, I've never reread Crown of Midnight. I've only reread Throne of Glass. I'm pretty sure I've never reread Crown of Midnight. And I really, really want to. Like, I'm watching April from Apuleius Maximus reread the series and annotate them, and it's just really making me want to do that. And so I'm going to, but I'm going to start from the very beginning. So it'll happen, like, very beginning of next year. I think I might read one a month or one every couple of weeks or something, and just annotate it and get all my favorite scenes, and it's just going to be so much fun. And, I mean, this is my favorite book. And I can't wait to, like, reread it again and annotate all my favorite scenes. So we'll see how that goes. But yeah, 5 stars to all my favorite, you know, my favorite books, my rereads. I was happy. And so then I'm currently reading Muse of Nightmares by Laini Taylor. I am annotating it kind of. I'm only putting sticky tabs in. I haven't underlined anything yet. We'll see if I do. Like, oh man, it's been a while since I picked up this book, to be honest. I really want to pick it up again, but I've just been reading other books and it's been taking me away from this. So I'm only like 105 pages in? Yeah, exactly 105. So we'll see, but I really want to finish this in November. And I'm of course also reading Kingdom of Ash by Sarah J. Maas. And I am that far in. I am 677 pages in, which is chapter, oh god, where is it? Chapter 80 out of 980 pages. So 677 out of 980. I am close to the end, as close as I can be right now. And I am loving it so much. And I really want to get to that ending. I mean, so far, it'll definitely get 5 out of 5 stars. But when have I ever given a Sarah J. Maas book not 5 out of 5 stars? Other than Throne of Glass, which I really want to reread. And who knows, maybe we'll get 5 out of 5 stars now. Who knows? But like, it's killing me. I just want to read the end. I just want to get there. So that's it. That's what these are the books I'm currently reading. And that's a shiny cover. Oh my god. But yeah, they're both amazing and I'm loving them. This one has just not taken priority at all. So yeah, that's it. Oh god, I knew I would do a 30-minute video. I tried really hard not to. But thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this wrap up. Yeah, those are all the books that I read. Which wasn't as much as I would have liked it to be. But yeah. So yeah, thanks so much for watching, guys, and I'll see you again with another video. Happy reading.